Hi, this is Tracy with another scrapbooking process video. I am using the Scraptastic Thinking Out Loud kit, which is the kit for June of 2015. And before I do that, I'm just going to trim up my photo here. It's printed at 3.8 by 3.8, which puts a little border around the edge of it when I print it on a 4x6 piece of paper. And right off the bat, without even knowing which papers I'm going to use, I've already decided that I want to mat my photo in this really pretty pink paper. This is from the Scraptastic Kit Club. It's an exclusive paper. And so I'm just going to, oops, I cut it a little bit too, I cut the border just a little bit too big there, so I had to cut it off a little bit. And I'm kind of just going through the kit. All of the papers are intact at this point because this is my first layout using this kit. And so I'm just thinking about which of these papers I'm going to use for my background. And a couple of them are standing out. I really like that floral, not for background, but I like that one, so I pulled it out. And I think I'm going to go with this yellow polka dot for my background. I do really love this floral, and I'm going to cut some strips. And I just needed to check. I thought about matting my whole layout with the floral instead of putting, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put strips on the top and on the bottom. I'm cutting 4 strips because 2 will go on the top and 2 will go on the bottom, and I'm going to use both sides of it. So see how I'm using a floral and then the geometric pattern from the back side on both the top and the bottom. I really like putting those strips on my layouts. It's been a while since I've done that. I used to do it almost always, but I've gotten away from it. So I'm kind of getting back to it here. And I'm thinking that I might put a bunch of vertical pieces of paper behind this photo, but that floral is way too distracting. So I know already that I'm not going to use it, even though I haven't taken it out yet. These are looking a lot more along the lines of what I had in mind. So I'm just cutting them out. So what I have there is 2 pieces of crate paper, on either side, and then in the middle of it, that piece of paper with the words all over it is a Scraptastic paper. And the crate papers are from the Craft Market collection. Now, these We Are Memory Keepers denim stickers really spoke to me when I opened the kit. If you guys saw my kit video, you'll know that I was really struck by them. And so I definitely want to use them. The whole reason I'm scrapbooking this photo is because of all the blues in it. And I definitely want to use the denim stickers, and I also want to use the navy blue letters on this layout, the thickers that came in the kit. So I'm just writing down my ingredients so that I have this piece of paper here while I narrate my videos. So it's handy to have if you are going to do a blog post where you talk about what you used in your layout, or if you're going to submit it to any magazines, or if you're like me, if you're going to do a process video, it's nice to have all the ingredients just all written out there. So that's what that's for. And if you're looking for it, it's on my blog, and it's really unique to me, so you might not be able to use the same one that I use, but it'll at least give you an idea. You're welcome to use it if you want to. And it's on my blog, and it's linked in the information section for this video. It should be linked in all of my videos now. So I'm just doing some outlining, and my pen was getting a little worn out, so I just switched to a different brand. These are Staedtler Pitt pens, and I love them. I love Staedtler pens. The other one was a Micron, which I also really love. So I'm just outlining, I'm double outlining all of the papers, and I hand cut those papers specifically so they've got kind of not a finished edge. They're not completely straight or completely 90-degree corners or anything. I just wanted this layout to have a really casual look. And I did outline around the photo. You saw me there when I was talking about something else, but I actually did some outlining around where the border is on the photo, and now I'm also outlining the mat. Oh, and I crumpled up that paper to remind myself that I don't want to use that paper anymore because there's glue on it. So every time I outline, my hand gets stuck on the glue, and it makes my outlining a little less smooth. So I had to throw it away. So I'm just pointing out here that it looks nice at the top, but not at the bottom. Just the way that the layers go, I really like it at the top. So my plan is that I will just put something over that space in the bottom there. Like maybe that Today sticker, but it won't be that, but that's what I'm thinking at this point. Putting my strips back in place just so that I can get a sense of, it changes the weight of the layout, so I want to design with those strips in place so that I can know how the overall feel of the layout is going to be. Now I'm thinking about putting some journaling lines down in the bottom beside that Good Times sticker, but I'm going to change my mind about that. So the stickers that I picked are specific stickers. So I picked one with yellow, one with blue, and one with pink. And then the ampersand I just really liked, and it had white. And then with the chevrons, I picked chevrons that were the colors that I already had picked from the other denim stickers. So I'm spelling out the word clean, which obviously isn't going to fit here, but I'm going to give it a try anyways. I really had my heart set on using these letters for this title. And so I put them back, and I thought about using the thickers, the navy blue thickers. I definitely want to use these, but I was going to use them for just part of the title. But when clean in those tiles was so big, I thought about calling it Clean and Clear, because the water's clean and clear. But that just, you know what I don't like about this is that the Insta and Today are both bigger than the title. And I like my title to be the biggest thing. Thought about doing a sideways title there for a second, but that's not going to work either. Thought about breaking up my title, but I never do that. It looks good when other people do it, but I don't know. I don't break up my words. I should do that though. But anyways, I decided to just kind of line up all of the letters down here and then have the photo kind of layered over top of the letters. Now there's not enough room for Good Times anymore down there. And I didn't want to move everything up because it's not going to be balanced then. I'm also changing the title from Clean and Clear to Clean at Last, which fits a little bit better with the journaling that I'm going to be doing, which talks about how the harbor hasn't always been this beautifully clear and clean. And it was a bit of a city project. It partially happened when I wasn't living here. It's been clean for quite some time, so this is sort of old news. Anybody who knows Halifax knows that the harbor has been clean for a while. But yeah, I haven't scrapped it yet, so this is me scrapping the clean harbor. Yeah. So I want to use that Hooray clip from Dear Lizzie, and I want to use some of the flair. There's an ampersand flair, but there's also that flair with all the little arrows. And I'm not going to use those words. I'm going to decide pretty quickly not to use them. I tried them out just to see, and I'm more likely to use these arrows than I am the words, because there's already a lot of words on this. There's the title, but then there's Insta and Today and the Hooray as well. So I pulled out some of the vellum shapes that came in the add-on, and I really like those hearts over there. I'm going to put my journaling up by those chevrons kind of dangling from the top right-hand corner. And I want to do something with this stencil. And I also am aware of the fact that there's going to be a huge chunk of empty space right there to the right of the photo on that piece of pattern paper from crepe paper. And it's not going to, I don't have any embellishment to put on it. And I could make something. I thought about making something. But then I thought I might just do some mixed media-ish. It's not really mixed media. I'm just going to ink. But I thought I'd use this stencil and ink a pattern so that it's just a little bit more interesting than just having a piece of pattern paper there. So you saw me use my tiny attacher to, this is some crazy gluing down that I'm doing here. So I'll go back to the tiny attacher in a second, but I am trying to glue these without moving them. So you see what I'm doing there? And I'm actually going to like the layout better after I move it around a little bit. Accidentally, I was trying to keep it the same. And in in doing so, I moved it. But I like that. It looks kind of more casual, and the bottom looks good too, although you're not going to see the bottom because these letters are going to cover them up. So I'm putting tiny attacher staples in the tops of those letters so that it looks like they're stapled to the layout, but they're not, because you'd need a really long arm on your stapler to reach that far. And or, I mean, there is a way that you can staple in the middle of a page. I've done it before. If you've followed me for a while, you've seen it. But I didn't want to do that here. I was feeling kind of like I didn't want to do that. I just didn't feel like doing it. So I didn't. So it's all coming together pretty nicely. I like how the word clean really dominates this layout because it is about the harbor being clean, and so it's a big part of the story. And I'm doing something crazy here, which is putting my stencil on after I've put some other elements on, which is a dangerous thing for me to do because I'm sloppy, like I'm not the neatest person in the world. And so this was a bit of a risk, but I thought about white, and that's not going to show up. So then I changed my mind and went with this teal. It's damask teal, which is a Prima chalk ink that came in a previous kit, probably from quite some time ago. We used to get those inks in our kits as the little bonus thing, the little bonus gift that you get for ordering 2 kits in a row. So I'm just cleaning off my stencil, and I'm going to leave that there. I'm thinking about doing something else, but I'm just going to wait. So while I wait, I'm going to just put the Insta and the little clip. It's a bobby pin over where I wanted it to go, and now I'm going to finish off my outlining. So I do want the strips to be outlined. I switched to a 0.01 pen for these tiny little strips, just so that, because if your outlines are too wide, it takes up most of the strip, and I didn't want that to happen. So I'm just switching to 0.03 here. I did my other outlining in 0.05. It doesn't really matter, but I wanted to do it. I'm kind of managing pens that are running out and different widths and thicknesses and that sort of thing here, all at the same time. Yeah. So now I'm just going to glue these strips in place. And at first I was thinking about layering them so that they were completely overlapped, but then I decided I didn't want to do that. So I'm using my Zig 2-way glue pen here to put this down, and I'm going to move it because I put it so that it was completely layered over top, but I didn't want that. I really like having some of the yellow polka dotted background paper showing between those 2 layers. So that they're actually not even layers. They're just 2 pieces of paper beside each other. And I think it just gives it a bit more of an airy or a light look as opposed to having layers up there. This is not a terribly layered layout, so I just want to keep it. I just liked this look for right now. A lot of times I will layer my strips, but not this time. I wanted this different look. And I made it so that the opposite corners are shorter for that small strip. So in the bottom left-hand strip, in the bottom left-hand corner, that strip is shorter, and in the top right-hand corner. So here's my idea. As I sat and thought about what I was going to do with that stencil, I decided I would just slightly shift the stencil over a little bit and add pink X's and O's, and it gives it a little bit, it almost looks a little bit like a 3D print that, you know, if you're supposed to wear 3D glasses. And so it's overlapped with the green and the pink, and I really like that. I think it looks a lot more interesting than just the blue alone or the green alone. Just putting those thickers in place now, putting them so that one word is on the N tile and the other word is on the A tile. And I'm going to put that bobby pin in place that says hooray. So it sort of says hashtag Insta hooray, which is, I'm making it be a phrase. And I'm going to use the Today denim sticker to it kind of gives me a third place there, with although it's going to be a fourth because now I'm going to add those chevrons. So I've got kind of 4 spots of dark blue: the chevrons, the Insta, the Today, and the At Last. And they're spread all around the layout with the photo in between some of them. And then these chevrons are going to be pointing to my journaling. I'm using a 0.03 pen here, and I've lined up my layout so that it's in line with the grid marks on my work mat. And then I'm lining up my ruler so that it's also in line with the grid mat. And now I'm going to adhere those little chevron arrows so that they point to the journaling. And I wasn't sure what I was going to write here, so I just did a couple of lines with the idea that I could always add to it, and I made them all different widths and lengths. So some of the lines are close together and some of them are a little bit further apart, and they're also different lengths, and that just makes it look a little bit more interesting and casual. A layout with denim on it should definitely be casual, I think, anyways. So I switched to a blue journaling pen, a dark blue journaling pen, and I am writing. It says, "The harbor hasn't always been this clean, but thankfully the city has done a great job of cleaning it up for all to enjoy." Although I'm going to run out of space to write all of that, so here I go. I'm lining up my layout again with my grid mat and then lining up my ruler, and I'm going to draw 2 more lines, I think. There we go. And then I'll just finish off my journaling there. And I'm going to replace those arrows where I had them originally. And I'm also going to replace the vellum hearts where I had them. I love the look of little hearts that look like they're sort of floating up in the air. They're one of the few embellishments that I really like to float, as opposed to anchoring them on something. Butterflies and hearts I like to float. So I'm using my Zig 2-way glue pen. It dries clear, so it's perfect for these vellum embellishments because you're not going to see the glue once it dries. And that clear one, it's just a little creamy color. It's not completely clear. It's a very subtle look, but I really like the clear heart with the green one layered over top of it. And I just felt like that left side there really just needed one more element. The Insta Hooray just wasn't enough, so I added the flare badge, which I was hoping to use. So I'm just going to tidy up my workspace a little bit because I am going to do some misting, so I have to move everything out of the way, make room for my cake box. And I just have little pieces of cardstock from last time that I used to mask off my layout, so I'm just masking off stuff. And I'm looking through my samples. This is my swatch book of mists. So I have a little sample of all of my mists. I have a sample, each tag, it's die cut tags using a Tim Holtz die, and each tag has all of my mists both sprayed and splattered so that I know what it looks like, because it usually has a deeper color when you splatter it as opposed to misting it. So the 2 colors I'm using are Heidi Swapp Color Shine Primrose and then Mr. Huey's Skyscraper, which is just a little tiny one that I had. It came in a Studio Calico kit from a long time ago, and I'm not sure that they released that color for sale or not. So here are the close-ups of the layout. You see the tiny attacher there to put those strips in place, although they are glued as well. And there's my journaling. And look at the splatters. I love it when splatters make a real splat like that one, like that pink one there. And when the ones that landed on the vellum are a little bit darker in color. And I think the X's and O's look nice and camouflaged a little bit with the splatter around them. Those denim accents really give such a punch of navy blue color, but also texture. They're really nice. And the letter tiles, I did not take the they have a little piece of plastic clinging to them to keep them from being scratched. And so I did not remove that because I almost always prefer a less shiny look for my tile letter stickers. They're not stickers, but for my letter tiles, I guess they would be called. I have them in several different manufacturers, and I almost never peel them, although I think, you're supposed to, but I just really prefer the matted look of leaving the cling plastic on them. So there's the layout. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Have a really great scrappy week.